My name is Kelly Martin. After 5 years of marriage, I finally got pregnant. Looking back, it felt like a long winter. I wanted a child, but I couldn't seem to conceive. It was hard for me to see mothers with their children, and my husband didn't understand my feelings at all. Sometimes he even called me a defective product. It was a tearful married life. But when I found out I was pregnant, I felt like spring had come all at once. Although spring was supposed to be followed by summer, it turned back into midwinter. That's because
Congratulations.
when the midwife said this, my husband said something unbelievable.
I'd like to get a DNA test done for the baby now.
Excuse me? Why would you want a DNA test done?
Because we can't tell if this baby is mine or not, can we?
What the heck? They're obviously your child. I just gave birth to them.
Even so, can you say for sure that they're my child? You can't even say that you didn't cheat, can you? So I'm going to check. Or is there something you don't want me to confirm?
What are you talking about? The doctors and midwives are astonished by this behavior of my husband. It would be an unheard birth drama. You would probably think, is this the first thing you say when you see your child born? Have you been thinking that this baby is the result of an affair?
We couldn't conceive a child for 5 years, right? It's strange that we did all of a sudden, so I have good reason to feel suspicious about you, don't you think?
That's just like you are calling yourself male infertility. Besides, you should be happy that I was able to get pregnant and that the child was born. It's rather weird to ask for a DNA test right after birth.
It doesn't matter if it's weird or not. If it gets tested, it will tell if they're my child or not, so why not? As long as it's confirmed that they're mine, I will be able to love and raise this child without any worries. Doctor, please do the test with this.
Then he took out a toothbrush in a plastic bag. He was well prepared.
Okay.
Even the doctor looks puzzled.
Is that okay with you, Mrs. Martin?
I guess what the doctor meant is I get busted if I cheated on him. But I didn't cheat, so it's neither good nor bad. Yes, if that's what my husband wants. Please do it. I answered clearly. A few days later, the doctor reported the lab result to my husband, who was grinning.
There's a 99.9% chance that they're not your child.
I was stunned by the unexpected result and looked at my husband's face. He gave me a cold stare.
I knew it, I knew they aren't my baby.
That's ridiculous.
How would you think it's ridiculous? This confirms that you cheated. I didn't think you were that kind of woman, but I'm a generous man, so I will ignore that. But I will divorce you as I cannot raise a child who isn't my own.
He said this and left the ward humming. My parents, who had come to see their grandchild, asked me what was going on, but I was the one who wanted to know what was going on. I can't believe this lab result is true. I mumbled and went home after being discharged from the hospital. My husband wasn't there, and only a cold atmosphere hung in the air. I wonder where he went. I looked at my husband's belongings and found that not everything was gone. Does he come back from time to time and take things away, or did he just take what he needed? There was no point in thinking about it, so I took my husband's toothbrush to have it retested and sent it in an envelope. I will find out what really happened within 2 weeks anyway. At the same time, I called my in-laws to find out where my husband was. However, they knew nothing about it and were happy that I had been discharged. They even thanked me for giving birth to their grandchild. That means he hasn't told his parents. He hasn't returned to his parents' house either. Where the heck is he then? The word that came across was cheating. Could it be that he? I just remembered his behavior from the past. He didn't look happy when he found out I was pregnant. Rather, he looked annoyed and said, "Is it too late now?" Since then, he has been coming home late more often, talking to someone when he leaves the house, and interacting with someone through line more frequently. I have tried not to worry about it because I thought if I cared, it would affect my baby. But if that behavior stems from an affair, wouldn't he be with another woman now? Is this the same man who called me a defective product but was having an affair with another woman? If this is the case, I have something to think about too. I contacted someone to find out where my husband was. For the next 2 weeks, I continued to live with my child while feeling frustrated. However, when the lab results arrived, everything changed. That's because the result written on the certificate was, "There is a 99.9% chance that there is child." I knew they would be. I thought it was strange. Then the sample my husband handed in was a fake. Who on earth did it belong to? More importantly, why did he do this? It was obvious that they were his child. Why did he deny parenthood? Even if he had another woman, it was awful. Every time I saw the lab results, I felt angry and hateful towards my husband, who had abandoned his responsibility as a parent. I can't definitely forgive him for leaving the child who was born into this world. I want to get back at him somehow. I hugged my baby. Prepare yourself. I'll never forgive you. I was determined to take revenge. I left my child with my parents and went to the apartment where the other woman lived. As soon as I was discharged from the hospital, I asked a detective to investigate my husband's infidelity, as well as getting a DNA test done. Thanks to this, I was able to identify the woman's apartment and that my husband would be there. It wasn't a fancy apartment, just like a decently made apartment with no security. It was more like a housing complex. Thanks to this, I could easily get to the woman's room and I got to ring the doorbell successfully.
Coming.
The door was opened when I heard her voice, and she might have been waiting for something to come. She looked at me and gave me a scowl.
Who are you?
I'm Bill Martin's wife. I bet he is here. When I said this, she said a small "ah" and looked at me triumphantly. I was pissed off by her mocking face, but now I have business with my husband, not with this woman.
That's right. Since you haven't divorced him yet, you can still call him your husband. How could you come here when you were cheating on him? You are so thick-skinned as to give birth to a child of a man you had an affair with.
I need to talk to him about that. Get my husband here. There's no point talking to a person like you.
What do you mean by like you?
That's what I literally mean. Just get my husband here. Or, I'll shout at him at the door. What will the neighbors think when I do that? When I said this, she looked disgusted and called out to the back. Then, my sloppily dressed husband came out. How could she think of having an affair with such a sloppy man?
What's going on?
Your wife is here. I can't believe she stormed into my place. It's scary.
When she said this, she tried to hide behind his back, but there was a smile on her face. She is such a bitch.
How did you find out about this place?
It's understandable that he would think that way. I couldn't get hold of you, so I hired a detective. Then I found out that you left home and started living with another woman for 2 weeks. So, it's clear that you were the one who cheated on me, after all?
What are you talking about? We just started dating 2 weeks ago, so I didn't cheat on you.
Okay. That doesn't matter. You are actually cheating on me anyway.
I'm going to divorce you, so it doesn't matter who I'm dating with. That's none of your business.
All right, but we're not divorced yet, so the fact that you're cheating doesn't change, and the fact that the child born is your child doesn't change either.
They aren't my child. The DNA test result shows that there is a 99.9% chance that they're not my child.
Whose sample did you ask for to be tested? That toothbrush wasn't yours, was it?
It was mine. Of course it was.
Well, that's strange. When I went back home from the hospital, I found your toothbrush was there. It wasn't even new or anything. So I had it retested with that toothbrush. And look! I slapped him with the test results I had in my hand. You see it right there? They're 99.9% your baby. I thought that was weird, because I never cheated on you. Also, you said you wanted to have it tested right after the baby was born. Usually, you'd be happy that the baby was born. I wonder why.
Well, there was something strange about the way you were behaving, so I thought it would be better off to have it checked.
I wonder what you think is strange about my behavior. You've been behaving more strangely than me. Even if I thought it was strange, I was pregnant, so I just didn't care because I thought it would affect the baby in my tummy. But I didn't expect you to say something like that right after the baby was born, and then when you ran away from home, you were with a woman. The point is that you were cheating on me and you wanted to camouflage it. Is that right?
What the heck are you talking about? It's just your guess.
No, it isn't. This is how it's been properly tested, and you've been moving in with the other woman. You've only been dating her for a couple of weeks and you're living with a woman. There is no way that she would do that unless she's a very dumb woman.
That's...
He seemed unable to say anything as I slapped him with the lab results and the investigation report. However, he seemed to be thinking about something, trying to get away with it while he was not saying anything. However, it was his other woman, Mary Allen, who wasted all his effort.
That's right, he has been dating me for a year now, so he wasn't happy about your pregnancy, was he?
She laughs, as if she thinks she is a winner for having him in her life. Has he? You guys have been dating for a year. Thanks for letting me know. So whose toothbrush did you use for the DNA test?
That's...
There's no point in hiding it now. It's obvious it wasn't yours. It's better off to tell the truth. It would make you feel better, don't you think? I feel uncomfortable if it's been hidden even though we're getting divorced.
Well, I guess you're right. Then I'll tell you the truth, but don't blame me.
I won't.
I know you wouldn't blame someone for a little thing like this, would you?
A little thing? I can see we have a difference in sense of value, but for the time being, I won't blame you.
Yeah, the toothbrush I used at that time was hers.
Hers? You mean this person?
Yeah, because if it were her toothbrush, it would never turn out to be father and child.
I got it. That's why you were well prepared. You had her toothbrush ready and denied the parent-child relationship in order to get rid of me and divorce. That was what you were up to.
Well, I guess you're right.
That's how it was.
But you can now cheat. No, you can play around as much as you want. It means we are both free. So it's all good to go?
I don't want to play. But if I stay with you, cheater, I'll just go crazy, so I'll give you a divorce. Here are the divorce papers for you to sign. I'll drop them off at the city council on my way home, so can I get you to sign right now?
Okay, I'll do it. We can no longer be related, is that correct?
We can divorce.
Yeah, we can.
My husband happily signed the divorce papers, and the woman also looked at them happily. After signing and sealing on the papers, he handed them to me. Well, now we're divorced. I'm glad.
Yeah, I'm glad too, because now it's all clear. If this is how it's going to be, I should have just asked for a divorce instead of playing such a cheap trick.
Maybe. By the way, now that we're divorced, can you tell me the truth? Where did you two meet? It was a year ago, so I wasn't pregnant yet, was I?
Well, you were getting depressed every time you had your period because you couldn't get pregnant, so gradually I got sick of being at home. That's when I met her through social media.
If you also want to get a boyfriend, SNS is an easy way to do it.
Thanks. I don't think I want a man, but I'll keep that in mind, so I guess you guys are gonna get married in the future?
Yes. Aren't we, Bill?
Yeah, that's right. We're going to be happy from now on, so I hope you'll be happy too.
Are you? I hope you will. I said that and left the apartment where the woman and my husband lived. But getting him to sign the divorce papers wasn't the only thing I wanted. After leaving the apartment, I made a phone call to someone. I have something to tell you. I'll be there soon, I said with a grin and started walking. Now, I'm going to send you all to hell. This is where revenge starts, you know. A few days later, my husband called me in a panic.
Hey! What the hell is this all about?
What do you mean by this? I mean, we're divorced, can you stop telling me hey?
Shut up! I'm asking you.
Wow, you talk to strangers like that, it makes me question your common sense.
Just listen to me.
What? I'll listen to you even though I don't want to.
I've got a letter from my lawyer.
Yeah, and?
What the hell is about this compensation?
Duh, it's compensation.
How did you come across the idea of compensation?
Because you were cheating on me, and it was proven that I wasn't cheating on you. But you've exposed that you were cheating on me and your girlfriend was so polite spilling the beans.
But we did make sure that we would divorce.
But we weren't officially divorced yet as you signed them on that day. Also, you said you guys had been dating for a year.
I said that, but that's not good enough to prove.
Yes, it is. I recorded it that day.
What the?
I didn't blame you that day, as you said. I just left it to the lawyer.
Why are you even asking her for compensation?
Because she's the one you cheated on me with. It's common sense, isn't it? She knew you were married and had an affair with you, so there's no doubt that she is charged for compensation.
Don't you feel sorry for her?
I don't. Why would I? Why would I feel sorry for her when she took my husband away from me?
You can't be that heartless.
That's just your imagination. I'm actually quite a ruthless woman.
There's no way a 26-year-old girl could pay such a high amount of money.
Then she shouldn't have taken someone's husband away in the first place. But she did, which means she must have had a strong determination to prepare thoroughly, don't you think?
She didn't do anything wrong, okay?
Are you kidding me? She absolutely did something wrong. Don't be stupid. Oh, for the child support, you have to pay it in one payment.
How can I pay such a large amount in one payment?
I don't care. Even if you pay by installments and I get paid every month, I'll be left with nothing if you bunk off halfway through. Then we'll be the ones who miss out on it. If that happens, I feel sorry for the child. It costs a lot of money to raise a child.
But the baby isn't my child, so...
Are you going to keep on saying that the lab result, which came out with her toothbrush, was correct? Stop it or I'll sue you for fraud. Also, I'll let you know one more thing. Even if it's not really your child, a child born during the marriage is considered your child under the law. So even if the baby doesn't have your genes, you will still be required to pay child support. Good on you, the baby has your genes.
Okay. I'll pay. But not in one payment.
If you don't pay all at once, I'll seize your salary.
Seize my salary.
It means that you will only be paid what you can live on. I'm serious.
All right. I'll pay, but I never thought you were such a terrible woman. If I pay, I'll be done with you. It's going to make me feel better then.
That's right. This will cut off my relationship with you. But remember, you stabbed in the back, so I'll definitely take revenge. This isn't the payback I want for you.
What do you mean? What the hell are you gonna do? Hey, answer me.
Bill is a timid man originally. I knew that this kind of threat would be effective. I said that because I thought he should experience a little fear, but he seemed to be really afraid, and soon afterwards he borrowed money from somewhere and paid the child support money all at once. But the peace would not last forever because I was steadily preparing for the next bomb. One day, about a month later, the bomb was successfully blown up. I waited for the right time and contacted him. Then, as I expected, I heard a disappointed voice. Hello?
You sound quite cheerful.
Yeah, you sound disappointed. What's the matter?
You know what? Mary got fired.
Wow, did she?
Yeah, I don't know why, but they found out that she was having an affair. She said that she's never heard of anyone being fired for something as trivial as adultery at that company. But for some reason, they said her case wasn't acceptable.
Well, there is no way that it's acceptable.
Why? It's just an affair. It's something that everyone does nowadays. According to her, other employees had their affairs exposed, but they weren't fired. Why is she the only one who got fired?
Isn't it because the other person wasn't the right choice to have an affair?
The other person? That's me, isn't it?
Yes, it's you. That's why it's a problem.
What? What do you mean?
She works at the publishing company, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Do you know who the parent company of that company is?
What? Parent company? No, I don't.
It's my father's company.
What? Are you kidding me?
It's true, you seem to have forgotten, but my father is the president of a major corporation, and his company has a lot of subsidiaries, including the publishing company where she works.
Did you tell him about what happened?
Well, rather than saying that, my father, who heard the reason for my divorce, knew where she worked and fired her. It's innocuous to think that way, isn't it?
Did you tell him where she worked?
No, I didn't. I just showed him the detective's report.
Which means you did.
You can think whatever you want.
Hey, she worked really hard. She's been staying in bed as she was so shocked about the dismissal. Please. Can you ask him for withdrawal of termination?
I'm not gonna do that. What makes you think I would do that? I've had a hard time because my family fell apart because of you guys. The pain she is facing is just nothing.
It was the publishing company she got into at last.
Well, then she can get a job at another publishing company, can't she? She's young, so she has that much vitality, doesn't she?
Don't you feel sorry for her?
No, I don't. You worry so much about other people, but it will be your turn next.
What do you mean?
The company you work for is also a subsidiary of my father's company, isn't it?
No, don't do that. I owe a lot of money after I paid child support in one payment. I don't know what I'm going to do if I get fired.
I don't care. It's your own fault. You will have to watch your neck. It would be a lot easier to fire you than it would be to fire her.
No. I apologize, please. Please don't.
It's too late to apologize now. You're the one who did that. The journey to hell isn't over yet. True to my word, Bill was terminated a few days later. It probably made his blood boil because he stormed into our house.
Why are you doing this? It's too cruel. Thanks to you, I'm unemployed. How am I supposed to make ends meet when I also have massive debts?
You abandoned me and our child, and you even made me lie about the DNA test for your own child. You should deserve this much for what you've done. You're the one who drove me around the bend. And we had a child, and then you left them, saying they weren't your child. You're such an unheard of a dumb parent.
Is that so? I'm the only one who gets miserable. Don't think you can get away with that.
Oh, I have the president of a major company with me. What do you have on your side? You have nothing. What can you do to me?
You're gonna regret doing this to me.
Really? You're the one who regrets doing all that to me, aren't you? I don't know what you're trying to trick me, but wouldn't you be better off looking for a new job instead of doing that? You're in so much debt that you can't handle.
It's not easy to find a new job. I'll make you regret it for sure. Just you wait.
He said that with a frustrated look and left the house. However, a few days later, he did something terrible. While I was taking the groceries inside the house after shopping, he took my child away from me who was asleep in the car. I never dreamed that such a thing would happen, and when I tried to bring the child into the house, I realized that they were missing. I was in a panic and searched around, but there was no one with the child. I immediately realized that it was kidnapping, but I couldn't do anything about it myself, so I contacted my father. He had the power to make the police take action quickly and were able to find the child right away. However, Bill, who was caught, claimed they were his own child.
This is my child. I just took my own child. What's wrong with that?
You know, even if they are your own child, they are under your ex-wife's care, aren't they? Then you're not allowed to do that without permission.
That woman took my child. I only went there to get them back.
He was repeatedly explained to the police officer, but he wouldn't admit that it was a crime. It was then that I got contacted. Without taking anything with me, I went to the police station to pick my child up and I saw Bill talking to a police officer. He didn't look like the calm person he used to be, and now looked like an evil criminal. Why on earth are you doing this?
Why? It's because you fired me.
But that doesn't mean it's okay to take my child with you.
What's wrong with taking my own child with me? There's nothing wrong with that.
Your own child? They aren't your child, are they?
They're my child. The lab results showed they were my child. That's why I took them with me. Because you took away my job and girlfriend. I thought you should suffer the same as we did. You're the one who started it, so it's not my fault.
What a selfish thing to say. You cheated on me with another woman.
What does that have to do with anything? I paid compensation money properly when we divorced, but you're still making us suffer. Then you should suffer too.
You were fired because you had an affair. A police officer, who was listening to the pointless argument, interrupted.
Is this man really your husband?
No, he is a stranger.
This man claims that they're his own child. He says that his wife took the child away from him without him knowing, so he only went to get the child back.
That's not true. I think he is mental.
Are you saying I'm mental?
You've never even held the child since they were born. How can you say that they're your child?
The DNA test proved that they're my child.
Ah. I was disgusted by him that he was bridging up the lab result of the retest that I asked for at that time. But when I was informed that he had kidnapped my child, I put something in my bag. He was talking about the lab result, but if I can prove that this child isn't his, then this case is closed. Is that correct?
Yes. If that can be done, then we can take him into custody as a kidnapper.
Is this good enough? This is a DNA identification form for this child and this person. The police officer saw the words, "There is a 99.9% chance that they aren't a parent-child relationship" on it. The other thing is about custody. You can find out that I have custody for this child. The police officer returned the document to me and handcuffed him.
How cowardly. You said once they were my child. That lab test was false. It's a trap by that woman.
He raised hell and was detained, but further tragedy struck him. It was a breakup with her girlfriend. When she found out that he had kidnapped my child and was detained, she came to him with divorce papers. Then he asked why, and she said that his ex-wife is too insane. I think she was keenly aware of what would happen to her if she incurred my wrath. Besides, it's impossible to be with a man in the future who committed a crime unless you love him very much. Bill apparently thought that a prison sentence on top of losing everything was no joke and offered to settle out of court. I thought that he should be sentenced to prison, of course, but I decided to accept his offer because I was afraid that he might end up harming my child after he was released from prison if I did something that would cause further resentment. I ripped him off though. As a result, he had to borrow money to pay the settlement money, and because there was also compensation and child support, the debt became a huge amount. However, after the case was dropped, he tried his best to get a new job. Since he had once been in trouble with the police even once, he could not find a job so easily, and in the end, he could not find a place to work. In order to secure a place to live, he tried to return to his parents' home, but his family didn't accept him. He had nowhere else to go and apparently started a life as a homeless man with no money. I, on the other hand, got a job at my father's company and am living happily with my child. What did you think of this story? Please subscribe to our channel. See you in the next video.